Did I love food as a child? Of course I liked it. As a teenager, I really loved pasta. In fact, in my 30s, I really enjoyed eating it too. But I always remember my earlier childhood. At that time, we ran along the street until 11 p.m. in the summer. I could go all day without eating. I always thought, God, what is food for? You can do just fine without it and just drink water. And then, when my weight increased, I often thought about it. And I thought, before, I could somehow exist without it. Why am I constantly hungry now? It's all about insulin resistance, of course. Because the more often we eat and snack, the more our cell's sensitivity to insulin is impaired. And the more often there is a feeling of hunger. I was in this situation too. Why did I become interested in the topic of nutrition? Since 2003 I have been working in a fitness club. I worked as an instructor, and the head of the sales department, and the commercial director. I have trained instructors in anatomy and dietology. Then I had to lose weight myself. I had changes in my life, it was both childbirth and business. I didn't have time to eat properly. And my weight has increased. I weighed 75 kilograms. I started with my usual, proper nutrition. I stuck to proper nutrition when I competed in bikini fitness. For me, this is a habitual type of food. I am very good at this. What other diets have I tried? I have tried a huge number of different types of diets. Firstly, it is, of course, proper nutrition because I taught it to others. And I knew how to act there, I knew the strategy. I knew what results could be achieved. But, nevertheless, I very often interrupted the diet. Because I worked very hard, about 20 hours a day. And unfortunately, for a certain amount of time, food became my salvation and consolation. Accordingly, it affected me. During that period, I tried different diets. I remember that I followed a buckwheat diet and ate only buckwheat for 5 days. It was terrible, although I like buckwheat and do not mind it. I heard about different apple diets, but, of course, I have not tried the apple one. I have tried the protein diet, the Atkins diet, which is also very popular. But it also constantly causes a feeling of hunger, because our body can make glucose well from protein. It's basically the same thing as eating carbs. The most effective, of course, was the keto diet. Who inspires me? At one time, when I started to lose weight, I was very inspired by Belenica, Veronika Belozakovskaya. I bought cookbooks that she wrote. It was very noticeable from her that in about a year and a half she became very slender. At that time, she inspired me a lot. As far as I know, she also followed a low-carb diet for a while. Of course, many people, knowing that I have a successful IT business, quite competitive, asked me questions. Why do you need it? Why should you blog? But, let me tell you, some bloggers, when they become bloggers, come up with some courses to monetize their subscribers. I became a blogger because I became a good expert. And I think that doing good, kindness and results for people is a great thing to do. Because the usual IT business does not give as much gratitude from customers as I now hear words of gratitude from my wards. And this makes my heart very happy. When was it scary for me to work with wards? It probably happened this spring, when 400 people came to the course at once. In the spring, everyone urgently needs to lose weight and it is desirable that it was yesterday. Before that, there were 100 to 150 people on the course. And suddenly in April there were more than 400 people on the course at once. At first I was scared. But my assistants and I did a great job. And situations like this don't scare me anymore. I know that we can manage now even if there are 500 or 600 people on the course. Because the approach to people on the course, one way or another, is always individual. The course has a database of videos that all participants watch. But I work with each one individually. Am I successful? Yes, I can do it. My assistants help me. Are there capricious and difficult participants? Oh sure. Because there is a child in all of us. Some feel sorry for their inner little girl and become naughty. But I always say on the course, I am a trainer. Please treat me like a coach and everything will be fine. At the beginning of the course, the first 2 weeks, there is a powerful adjustment. Then I give my energy very strongly and set the participants up for the result. As a rule, in the second half of the course, no whims happen anymore. Because then it becomes easier and clearer for the participants. And they are already more liberated and trust me more. They understand where they came from, that this course is quite serious and well structured. And there are no problems at all in the second part of the course. I want to tell people who are afraid to try the keto diet that it is completely safe if done right. You don't have to buy the course. For example, there are enough videos on my YouTube channel to learn the keto diet on your own if you are an attentive and disciplined person. If you can discipline and motivate yourself on your own. Why is the keto diet good? The fact that the result is quite fast. You do not have the feeling of hunger that often leads to a breakdown, as, for example, on proper nutrition, or on a protein diet. The volume of your body decreases very quickly. For example, even if you lose 5 kilograms in the first month, your volume may decrease by as much as 2 sizes. It really motivates a person and makes him move on. I highly recommend a low-carb diet to everyone. In 2017, the keto diet became popular. I first heard about it from foreign sources, from foreign nutritionists, and began to study it in more detail. And, of course, I began to experience it for myself. The results were very fast and efficient. My friends started asking me questions. Irina, how did you lose weight so quickly? You look very cool now. I told them about the keto diet. I decided to create an account on Instagram, where I published posts on this topic. And I was asked to create a marathon. The first marathon was completely free for my friends and for some members of this account. Shortly thereafter, the results appeared. My friends also began to lose weight rapidly. I have already organized the second marathon for friends and girlfriends of my girlfriends. Thus, my first keto marathons appeared, which later turned into a big course, Health, Slimness and Youth. Because in order to start a competently healthy keto diet, you still need to follow all the recommendations and, so to speak, be monitored for a couple of months. Because it is very difficult to stick to this diet on your own after 2 to 3 weeks of marathons. Knowledge is not enough, and for some, motivation is not enough, so you have to control and motivate people. This is what my assistants and I are currently doing on the course. We have a psychology lesson where we find out the causes of excess weight, which also helps to reach the goal and achieve results. After the course, I organized a keto club for my regular members. There we communicate, meet, we have keto parties in different cities. I provide fasting, further support on keto nutrition, and people do not gain weight again. I realized that this was not just a marathon for girlfriends, but my life's work, when I began to be inspired by the results of my wards. It wasn't always about shedding pounds. Although these results were also excellent, I am more inspired by results that are related to health. When a ward writes to me that literally after 3 to 4 weeks his sugar level returned to normal and later the diagnosis of insulin resistance was removed, and someone has type 2 diabetes, for me it was just an amazing inspiration. And, of course, the strongest motivation. I would love to be your guide on the keto diet. Because your results are my motivation.